community, I think, is, the number one factor for me coming back. So it's all thanks to you guys, really, for just being good people.
Hello and welcome back to this week's edition of Lose to Win the podcast with myself, Ben, and I've got Josh here with me. Sadly, no Jack again this week. He's off in the delightful area of the Midlands, currently on some business, sure, very important business, enjoying the delights of Leamington Spa. But that means we do have a very special guest with us again this week. I think I can introduce him as one of our very special Lose to Win award winners. In fact, this particular person picked up the very, very illustrious award of the Phil Jones Tackle Award. It is Man v Fat Bournemouth's own Connor Skerman. Hello, buddy. How are you?
Hello, mate. I'm good. Thank you. Hold the applause. Very well.
I know you wear that award with pride, buddy, so it's a pleasure to have you on, mate.
Oh, well, funny thing is, wasn't that award given on a tackle on you, wasn't it?
It was. It actually was. Yeah. It was. Last ditch, put everything in front of the ball, tackle from the man himself. Amazing.
You're right. As a defender, you got to put your body on the line. At that point, it wasn't my choice to do so. But
well, we love you for it, mate. It was amazing. How are you both, lads? You had a good week?
Yeah. It's been all right.
Give us a little snippet of your week this far, then. Con, you go first. Go on, mate.
My week, working the old 9 to 5. But I think my main thing this week is me car. I've been trying to get that for an MOT.
Right.
And boys, I tell you, it's a headache. If it's got tips and tyres, it'll give you trouble. It leaves tyres, man. But hopefully I'll have that back by Friday. But
fair.
Yeah, it's all right. I can't complain too much apart from that. I've been eating salad. I've been
Happy days.
Playing a bit of football. Chatting to you, mates. It's all good.
I love that. So upbeat. Fantastic. How about you, Joshy?
Yeah, it's been good. I don't know if I can say I've had such an enthusiastic week as that. But it's just been good, plodding along, same old deal, really. And I think that's good for our what we're trying to do in this Man v Fat League. So lose some weight, keep a good schedule, at least consistent schedule has been useful.
Yeah.
So on for another consistent loss, I'm sure this week. I'm not even sweating it. So.
Well done, mate. I don't know what I'm going to do this week. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I had quite a big loss last week. So normally the sort of pattern that's been happening over the last few weeks, I've had a good week and then a sort of not particularly good week and not necessarily a losing week either. It's been a bit weird. So who knows what will happen. But on the whole, down on the whole season. So 3 kilos on this season. So quite happy about that. And I'll just keep plodding along, as you say, trying to do my bit. So, yeah, I've had a good week as well. Well, that's good, isn't it? So, what do you want to do, mate? Do you want to do the roundup first? We do our Man v Fat roundup from last week, and then we'll dive into our good friend Connor and listen to a little bit of his story, if you're up for that, mate.
I certainly am. Let's do it.
Groovy. Go on then, Joshy. Over to you, mate.
Well, it was another decent week of weight loss and a fantastic week on the pitch. The club is 16.7 kilos lighter than this time last week, with 44 individual losses out of 60 who attended.
Very good.
In contrast to previous week's miserly on-pitch performance, there were goals galore. So 28 across 4 matches, with every team scoring at least a couple, so at least 2. Of course, pitch goals are the only part of the story. So the overall results are as follows. The Purples continue to roll on and won 16-6 against us Blacks. The Greens won 12-10 against the Yellows. The Whites unfortunately lost 13-8 to the Reds, and the Oranges and Blues played out a very rare draw, a 12-all draw.
Yeah, it was super close, man. Yeah, well, they beat us by a point. They beat us by a goal last time out. And then it was a draw this time round, so it shows how close.
It's weird. A draw at Man v Fat is the perfect example of that helps no one.
Totally, absolutely correct.
Just absolutely, because it just doesn't.
It's hopeless. I said that to Neil afterwards. I was like, oh man, a draw as well. It's just useless for both of us.
Yeah. So yeah, well, unlike their Premier League counterparts, none of our title chasing teams showed any sign of choking. So with purples and greens continuing to win on all counts, while defending pitch champions, your Blues, Ben, gained another pitch win, despite being held to an overall draw, as we mentioned, by the Resolute Oranges.
And that was only on. Sorry, mate. That was only on ringer goals as well, because we were 3-3 on the pitch, and sadly they had to take a ringer, so we ended up winning 5-3, which is always a shame. I think that the ringer goals go on pitch score, but there you go. That's the way it works.
Yeah. Well, that means that they've obviously beat you by 2, then, didn't they? In the
weight.
Scales?
Yeah.
This week. So anyway, in contrast, by the way, I was saying, to last week's bumper haul of milestones, there's only one to celebrate this time, but it's an absolute beast of an achievement. Tom Marks eases his increasingly svelte frame into the rarefied atmosphere of 25%.
That's great.
So
25%, a quarter of a whole person.
Mate, it's some achievement, isn't it? Like, a lot of people struggle to get their 10%, let alone 25. It's I mean, hats off, fair play.
Yeah.
And he is like vanishing though. He's, I think, 25%. You know, the few that have hit it in our club, it is massive. That is a massive difference when you look at people. You know, people like Mike, Ollie, Tim, and now Tom. I'm sure there's a couple of others, but just off the top of my head, those 4. But they look like different people. Rich is another one, of course. Some of them have gone on to do 30, of course. But it's a real massive change. I think that if you can get to that 25% mark, I mean, it's mad. It's mad. And Tom, and now he's such a fantastic keeper as well. He's so agile now as well. He used to struggle getting down and getting back up again. Now he's down and up like a cat. Amazing work. Love it, Tom.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's lost 11 kilos this season alone.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And exactly 40 since joining. Yeah, 40 since joining.
40 kilos.
Like, fair play to the guy. That is, I've literally lost for words. To lose 40 kilos.
That's complete madness.
Well, it's funny because my sister, she's not like she's quite a slight woman, but she weighs like 50 odd kilos, and I'm like sitting there thinking to myself,
he's lost nearly a whole Josh's
ridiculous.
Perhaps that should be the new benchmark. That should be the new benchmark of weight loss. A Josh's sister.
No, not at all, please.
I reckon Steve
shouldn't even mention her. Anyway, but that's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy.
Let's go back to our normal measuring stick of a Kylie. That's almost a whole Kylie.
That's bad.
That's far off one.
That's mad.
Yeah, no.
Well done, mate.
Those figures, by the way, reflect a steely determination to keep his focus, as we now has noted, and to change his lifestyle. So, which is noted by Steve in this report, because clearly it's working for him. Let's keep it going, Tom, mate, and be very proud of what you achieved so far.
Definitely, so amazing.
Onto the hat tricks. 14 there were this week.
14.
So hats off to those people. I would just say though, we did lose 2 more people in last man. So both unable to attend the weigh-in, meaning the field has now dropped to 14. That means no bonus goals last week, but a couple of steps closer to the last 10 bonanza. I might need reminding on this, and I should know, but I'm pretty confident you get a goal a week every time.
When you get to 10.
With the last 10,
that's correct.
Remaining in the last 10.
Yep. Are we into week 8 yet? When we get to week 8, isn't there the people left in it get goals? Have we done that yet?
Yeah, we've passed week 8. We're now on to week 10.
Week?
Yeah.
Gosh, have we got 4 weeks
5
left?
Weeks.
We've got
5 weeks.
10, 11, 12. Yeah.
Only 5 weeks left.
Weeks.
Who's going to catch the purples?
I know.
Anyone? Are the purples catchable? Still mathematically possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got to slip up though. That's the problem, and there's no end. They're just smashing it every week. High double figures every week. It's crazy.
Yeah. Maybe a reminder for people to keep their eye on this season, because I know we've got a new shake-up coming in 5 weeks, and there's obviously the temptation to look forward to that new refresh and kind of not give up, but just let a little few things slip in the
Practically
remaining
put
4
on
weeks.
weight so you can lose it when you're in your new
Yeah, well,
that's sadly
to be
not the idea, but yes.
to be honest,
Yeah,
Ben will
cut
probably
that.
tell you. Ben will probably tell you. We used to probably have a few people who did that in the early years.
Oh,
I guess.
absolutely.
We were a bit
Yeah.
tactical on it. So, I don't really see that much, and I haven't done the last couple of seasons at least.
No, I was going to say, I think the focus has been much more steered towards the weight loss mantra, as it were. So I think the sort of, as the new people have come in and people have sort of taken it all on board, that the kind of tactical workings that happened in the early couple of seasons, I think has waned slightly, thankfully. So it is more about that. Actually, what is the point of me putting extra weight on in order to lose it again, when the whole point of me being here is to lose weight? I think people have switched on to that fact now. So thankfully, there's a little less of that going on. I think, of course, people do take their foot off the gas, as is natural, to go, do you know what? There isn't a huge amount to play for at this end of this season now. So do you know what? While I'll still try, I'm not going to go hell for leather and go crazy. If I lose, I lose. If I don't, then so what? I'll try and focus for next season. And I don't actually think there's anything wrong with that, because as long as you're still committed to the cause and you're still committed to, in a couple of weeks' time, putting your foot down again, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a couple of weeks. If people are, they're struggling, or they've been going at it really hard and they can't quite get over the next little hump, then fair enough. Just reset and go again. It's staying in there though, isn't it? And committing yourself to the next season and then starting again. That's what it's all about. So
yeah, I think also the addition of Steve making sure that your first weigh-in is of the end of last season. I know we have a friendly usually a week, and people take that time to take it off, don't they, a little bit. I'm not sure how many people would tactically gain weight in the last week of the season when it still counts, especially if there's things to play for, so I think there's an element of that, so keeps people
it'll be interesting, because this season we don't have a friendly week, so we're going to go from one season straight into the next. So
and I think that'll be a benefit. Because people then I don't think people would slack as much, basically, because they don't have that. They don't immediately come off the Friday and go, oh, I've got a week off next week, so I can be a bit naughty this weekend and maybe extend it a little bit longer than I would, because I've got time to take it off.
Yeah,
because there won't be that time. So
no, that'd be tough for the league winners, because they want to let their hair down after a very tough long season. They'll go, finally I've got to the finish, I can let my hair down and go and have some beers and celebrate, and then go, oh crap, I can't do that, so I've got to start again next week.
But that's why we say it's so difficult to repeat, don't we?
Oh yeah,
especially in the weight side of things.
Yeah, and hats off to the Greens, they are. Yeah, they're right in it. So fair play to those lads.
What I was going to say, just quickly, it's 1-0 Bournemouth. Just as
Who's scored?
Tell me, Solanke. Semenyo.
Oh, what a boy!
I don't know who the assist was, but I missed it. But 1-0. Anyway, on to the team of the week. This was to say, team of the week is led by a familiar face at the first time of asking since joining the club, Ryan Broadbank. Great to have you back, Ryan, mate.
Yeah, good to see you, mate.
Restarted his Man v Fat career with a hefty drop of 2.7 kilos. And here's the full list then. So behind Ryan, we have Rob Bridges with 2.1 kilos, John Costa with 2 kilos, Matt Clist with 1.7, Scott Hardy with 1.6, Sam Denton with 1.5, Geordie, good on Geordie, mate, 1.4, and Tom Marks, our milestone man, with 1.4.
Well done, lads. There's some old OGs in there. Nice to hear that they're still in there going for it. That's fantastic.
Indeed. A few have commented, by the way, and this is maybe onto a topic we can discuss recently, that they're struggling with motivation right now. Okay. Marking time until the next season reshuffle, as we mentioned. Okay. So the idea really is not to wait until then to make simple, sustainable changes. We can get them done, or try and focus on those towards the end of the season and not let it slip then. That's all we can do. And the most important goal is health and happiness that comes from making progress with your weight. So you just got to keep going one little bit at a time. It's the small little choices, isn't it? So
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, it's easy to sort of sit here and, say, "Oh, and you can do it, boys. Lose the weight." But I've struggled with motivation before. I mean, the Black, we've not been on the best of runs this season, and it does get to you after a game. We're all in the team chat, and we say well done and pat each other on the back and say just keep focused. But I understand that it's not the easiest thing to do to stay motivated when you are on a bit of a losing streak. But I think there are some great incentives out there, like Jim's Man v Chat. That when we went down the beach that day, man, that was such a brilliant laugh just to be out with the boys, doing a bit of exercise. So little things like that I think do help with motivation. Actually, the community together, playing midweek football, again, that helps. Sort of healthy mind, healthy body sort of thing. Like you're out with your mates, you're running around for an hour, playing a bit of football. That I feel that helps with motivation as well.
Yeah, cool. I think that's important, mate. Yeah, definitely, because it's not. I think if you just focused on the Friday and said it's all about that, then I can understand that you would start to get a bit. What's the point? Because we're just losing all the time and can't lose any weight, and there's only 4 or 5 weeks left to the end of the season, then start again. I can understand that, but as you say, there's a lot of other stuff going on that can keep the motivation going with the community, with your Tuesdays and Thursdays and the 11s and the golf society and the now Manvi chat walks. There's a lot going on, and I think they all will help. So yeah, if anyone who's listening who's not involved in any of those and feeling a bit sort of unmotivated at the moment, get involved. See if you can get out on an extra night a week if you can, or go for the Manby chat walks, or come along for a game of golf if you're a golfer. Even if you're not, grab some sticks. Josh, you're going to try and come out at some point, aren't you, mate? Did you buy those clubs I sent to you?
No, I didn't. I completely forgot.
Dude,
but I'll look again.
Too late now. Too late. The weather's sunny and everyone's buying golf clubs. The prices have doubled.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, fortunately. It's funny. I find I've kind of got to the stage where I find that just being involved in the community in terms of chatting, I chat away forever, but just on the chats all the time, messaging back and forth and getting involved in whatever's hot at the moment.
Yeah,
I just find that keeps me involved in the community consistently, or I'm keeping involved, and that in itself gives me motivation, because for me it's not necessarily about doing well just for myself or for the team. It's almost at a stage where I'm like, I want to do well for the community. I want to put on a good front for what Manvi is, and the rest of the people in there. So
very admirable.
In a strange way, that helps me. In a strange way, that thought helps me. So
flying the flag.
I might be one of one, but yeah.
No, I think it's whatever. I mean, you've bought right into it, haven't you? And you found it to be, as a lot of people have, a bit of a lifesaver, and you've really thrown yourself into the whole thing. So, hats off to you, mate. That's what it's all about.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I've had struggles along the way, like a lot of people.
Of course.
I had 2 seasons of basically the same weight. So, as Con will tell you, the first couple of seasons, the Blacks basically stayed the same weight. So,
I think a lot of us have been like that. Yeah.
Anyway, as we have you here, Con, mate, let's go into. I know we've already given us some insight already, but we should go back to some icebreakers and just
come on,
let the people know a bit more about you. So, obviously, we have a little bit more of an understanding already, but for the listeners in there, how do you have a particular team of football? Are you a big football fan? What's your history with football?
Brilliant question. Right. So I actually grew up in a rugby household where I know football was considered a swear word. Like, if you played football, you weren't worth anything. It was all about rugby.
Fair.
I played a bit of rugby as a kid. It wasn't for me, and it really just threw me off sports in general. I was not forced to play, but like my brother, he played rugby, and I saw him doing it, and I was like, right, I'll do it as well. And like I said, it wasn't for me, and that kind of pushed me away from sport altogether. And then I think it was 2018, I've still got the ticket up on my shelf. I went to my first Bournemouth game. It was a Carabao Cup match versus, Well, hang on. Let me take you over, and I'm going to go read out the old match details on my ticket. Bear with me. So it was what we got here. It was versus Huddersfield Town.
Wow.
Tuesday, the 4th of December, 2018.
Nice.
So that was my first Bournemouth game. And yeah, that was with my best mate Jim. And from that moment on, really, I was quite hooked on football. But I didn't really jump into it as much then. At that point, I did consider myself a Bournemouth supporter. Although, if you go to the Vitality and look at their brick wall, it does say that I've been a Cherries fan since '97. But I can say this, I didn't know it at that point. I didn't find out until later in life that I was a Cherries fan. Then COVID hit, and I didn't really, like most people, I didn't attend many games. And then after that, that's when I embraced it fully. And I've been a football fan ever since. Good, so, yeah, Bournemouth is my team.
Fair.
Yeah, well, I guess
another local lad.
Do I have to? Yeah, very good. We're piling them up now. Bournemouth fans, we just felt like we had too many Arsenal and Spurs and Man United fans on the pod, or however many, that we just need to balance it out. We can't be a Man v Bournemouth league and have no Bournemouth fans.
But the way I see it is like, why wouldn't you, like, out of all the teams in the Premier League, I just think it's incredible that Bournemouth is one of them. Like, my hometown's playing in the top division of English football. I think it's incredible. Why wouldn't you be a Bournemouth fan?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And you've got a different perspective on it as such. You haven't grown up with influence of family, I guess, on who you support. And
that's very true.
Like that, which is, so there's an element of that, and I think it's very admirable. Then hometown club, isn't it?
Yeah.
So unlike me, you just kind of fell into it because of where I live. And got hooked. Okay, so I guess there's not really much point in asking you about your memory then. I guess that's your favourite memory with Bournemouth, is it? Your first game.
Yeah, I mean, so when Jim was on, he mentioned about when old Kiefer Moore scored the goal against Forest. They got us sent back to the Prem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the limbs at that point, hugging and dancing with strangers, that's not me. Like, I'm such an awkward person, to the point that I know you boys, but when I'm playing football with you and you're like good pass or whatever, I give you a straight face and a thumbs up. So for me to hug a stranger and dance with them is incredible. And then to rush on the field and, grabbing at people, try not to fall over, flares going off. That's a pretty extreme memory.
Brilliant.
But yeah, as like Jim said, I think that is my favourite memory, is that promotion back into the Prem.
Love that. Good memory, mate.
Yeah, all right. You got a favourite player, you reckon?
Favourite player? It used to be, when I first started watching Bournemouth, it was Ake. Nathan Ake, great guy. I remember my one memory of Nathan Ake is we watched them, I can't remember where, but they basically flew back into Bournemouth. And as the coach was leaving the airport, I stuck my thumb up and I got a thumbs up back from Ake. And I was like, that's my guy. But now, for me, controversially, according to some people in the community, it's got to be Semenyo for me. I got a video of the other day of him. Jim went to dinner with the first team. He managed to snag just a single ticket, unfortunately.
Nice.
But I sent him a picture of me with my thumbs up and a text on it that said Semenyo's #1 fan. And about an hour later, I got a video from Semenyo saying thank you and that he's my #1 fan too. So, I know. And to see a Bournemouth player doing backflips after they score a goal, I mean, come on, that's insane level of dedication. So yeah, got to be Semenyo for me.
Lovely.
Is Semenyo the one that Jack was saying he shouldn't be playing at all? Is that the one?
That's the one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's the exact one.
Donkey. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, he changed his tune after that second half. That was the first half against Luton, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not like Jack to have any hot takes after a split second.
Oh no, not at all. No.
Yes.
Well, he scored tonight, so he must be doing all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. Have you been able to get to many games then since induction as such, or is it like many people? the Premier League and that a struggle to get on the list?
Yeah, so I've been to a fair few. It's not like I have not like ever been to a game sort of thing. Like I do struggle to get tickets. Like most of the time I'm getting a ticket, it is when it has gone to general sale because they've sold out when you need like 16 points, and I think I've got 8 or 9 home points now. So yeah, when I get a ticket, it's usually through the old general sale. But something I do really respect Bournemouth for doing is that you can get home points for the women's game. And I've been to a few of the women's games because although I grew up in a rugby household, I've managed to get my mum interested in football by bringing her along to the game. So not only am I getting home points for seeing the women and supporting the women, but I've managed to bring people who would never watch football into it as well. So
nice.
Yeah, so I've been to a few games as of late.
Oh, amazing. I love that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, as it should be.
Yeah, totally.
It's funny because you obviously get to a few more games than I do, so you're a proper fan compared to me in comparison, obviously. I like to say I'm just not free at the weekends, but that's not a good enough excuse. So there you go. Anyway, mate, that's your football and stuff, or Bournemouth so far. Man v Fat then. How did Man v Fat come around? How did you get involved? What is there anything specific you saw about it, or is it just,
Yeah, so I joined Man v Fat. So I seen it popped up on Facebook as like a sponsored ad. And I seen that and I kind of got the idea of it, that it was like a football league for bigger blokes to play football in like a, honestly, I wanted to do it because I thought that would be a safe space. I've never played football. I can't run. I can't kick a ball. But I feel like these guys might be sort of similar minded. You're not. You're all machines, mate. Bournemouth standard of Man v Fat football is insane. It's like I'm playing against prime Maradona, but
maybe in his 50s.
But anyway, I seen the ad on Facebook and I was like, okay, that looks interesting, because I was at a point where I live on the first floor block of flats and literally going up one set of stairs, and I was puffing and blowing, and there's really no way for a guy in his mid-20s to live. So I seen it on Facebook and I took a wander down one Friday night, and I spoke to Steve because I've seen online, you look at the reviews online and people are like, oh, it's rubbish, you only get to play 15 minutes of football, which I guess for some places might be true, but I mean, I can't remember the last time that I didn't play a full game down there, which is nice. I mean, that's what you want, isn't it? It's what you want to do, is to play as much as you can.
Yeah.
So I took a wander down and I seen Steve, and he told me all about it, how it works. And I signed up, and as well, it said on the website that expect to play, in a couple of weeks' time when a space opens up. I think I signed up on the Tuesday and was playing on the Friday for Yellows, which was my first team, in the bloody cup final with Josh. But we won. I can't take all the credit, as I played about 2 minutes, but it was good.
Well, mate, if any inspiration to join and crack on and getting your first game and winning a cup, it's pretty good. I must imagine. Going on a high.
My first bit of silverware on my debut. I can't break too much.
No, fair play.
Well, you were saying, by the way, you've not kicked a ball or anything. So your history of playing football, then, I guess, is very limited, as you were saying.
Oh, mate, minimal PE at school, and even then I was usually had a sick note to get out of it. It's the truth, man. There's always the kids playing at lunchtime are always like the cool kids, and I wasn't one of them. I was more of the one that would hide in the library sort of thing. But yeah, it's since watching football in 2018, I got that love for it, and I thought, why don't I play it? Like, why not? What excuse do I have to not be more active? And it turns out I didn't have an excuse, which is why I now play.
That's brilliant, mate. I mean, that's a big, bold, and quite a daunting step, I would imagine, for you to take for someone who's never played really before, to come down and join in.
Terrifying. Yeah, it was terrifying because.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone. I didn't join with anyone. I just literally took a dive and went for it.
Oh, that's amazing, mate. So what
really
season are you in then? If you won the cup, that would have been the end of the season. So are you in your 4th season now? Is that right?
This is currently my 4th. We'll be going into my 5th because I've done one season. I had the cup final with Yellows and then done a season with Yellows.
Right.
And
Okay.
I joined the Blacks when I was 3rd season. So we're on my 4th, going into my 5th.
Yeah. You've only ever been on my team, haven't you? We've only ever been together.
Yeah, Josh has been my constant, so I'm nervous for the reshuffle.
Is that going to change? Is that going to change?
I reckon it might.
Dunno.
I reckon it might.
Yeah, it could do. It depends really, mate, because obviously your brother, who's new to the league, he won't be moving away from someone he knows. I guess in this case it'll be yourself. But it could, in theory, be someone else on the team. So usually I like to keep him with someone else or someone on the team. Not always the captain, and I'm not the captain anymore. But then in that case, that'd be Jim, for example.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. So I honestly don't know. I know Steve's looking at teams, but he won't anywhere close yet at the moment. So
here's something I'm interested in, because on the email it said that the draft would be released by video. What's that all about, Josh? Do you know what that's about? Like, I
actually don't. I'll be really honest with you.
That's not Steve drawing names out of a hat or announcing teams, is it?
Yeah, surely so.
My understanding
it must be like an animation.
Yeah, my understanding was that this is quite new. This is the way that Man v Fat want to do it because they've had issues in potentially other leagues. But Steve goes into quite big detail in how he churns out his teams. And to be fair, I think we can all agree that, especially when we've had the shake-up the last time, they were all very competitive and very close, and he does it over very multiple factors. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Steve or how Man v Fat are running it necessarily, but to confirm it, because I don't know. But I would assume that there's an element of what Man v Fat want to do and an element of what Steve wants to do will be combined together to how it's done. And in terms of how it's released, I honestly don't know, because we don't have a friendly week.
No, it's going to be a very quick turnaround, isn't it?
It'll be, in theory, it's meant to be afterwards. So it could be at our awards. We could, if he has it ready and he doesn't. We could do it then. But whether it's an animated video or whether it's just Steve announcing it to the group, I don't know.
That'd be quite funny if it's Steve on a link pulling balls out of a pool. Pot A, pot B, pot C. The good ones, the middle ones, and the shit ones.
We'll have all of
the
us.
Fat
just
ones,
me. It'll be
the not
me.
so fat ones, and the thinner ones.
It'd be me. It'd be me, Liam, and Steve pulling out pots, as you say, like the World Cup draw.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
From the fat pot. They pull it out. Yeah.
Extra fat.
Team colour.
It's actually out of a slow cooker. He's pulling names out of the slow cooker.
There's mileage in this, boys. I'm sure we could work something out.
Well, I'm sure Steve listens, so if you are listening, Steve,
he'll have his head in his hands right now, I'm telling you.
Idea has some merit. You can't so easily dismiss something so brilliant.
Absolutely.
Anyway, mate, so you've got involved in Man v Fat then. How are you doing so far? You say you've been here for 4 or 5 seasons, or 4 seasons full. How is it going? How have you found it since joining? How's the weight loss? How are you getting involved in your football? How's the community? How are you finding it?
Yeah, so straight off the bat, the first thing that comes to mind is I do love it. Like, I live for my Friday nights to play football, to see the boys, to get out and have a run around like a dog that's been put on his lead all week. And that when Friday night hits and I can just run on that pitch, I love it. In terms of weight, I mean, I've always been, right now, I think I am the skinniest I've ever been in my life. Because as a kid, I was always the fat kid. And when I first joined Man v Fat, that first season I had with Yellows, it's probably my best season. The weight just seemed to fall off. And then over these past couple of seasons, my first season with Blacks, again, I think I've done quite all right with the weight loss there. I managed to get my 10%. I think it was my first season with the Blacks. But these past couple of seasons, it has slowed down a bit. And I think, honestly, that's just because I'd been doing it for about a year at that point, dieting and exercising. And I just fell off the horse. I just, there's only so long you can diet for before, you do want to have that relapse and you want to eat the burgers and, the healthier choices you make. Like when I first joined going to McDonald's, I made sure I had a grilled chicken wrap and a side salad. I ain't done that in months because it's just not enjoyable. It's all about those sustainable changes. And I feel that's one that I had. That is a sustainable change that I have let slip. So, I mean, like I said, the first 2 seasons, the weight loss was pucker. But these last couple, I have fallen off a little bit. I mean, I've not put on loads. It just seems like I sort of yo-yo between weights. Like 1 week I'll lose a kilo or 2, and the next week it's back on a little bit. And then it just feels like that, like a little bit of a wobble. But
that's an interesting one. Right. I think it's quite common, to be fair, mate, on the length of time that you're doing it, because you start and it is and then it's new and fresh and you do make changes in it and you start and as you say, it falls off. For a lot of people, it falls off quite easily to start with. But then, as you say, as time rolls on, it becomes, and you feel like you've been dieting for a long time. It's kind of making the transition from it being a diet to it being the norm. So the changes that you make, rather than having the mentality around it being a diet to try and make it like now the norm, that's the difficult thing. And you're absolutely right. Anybody that feels like they've been dieting for a long period of time is going to go, do you know what? I just need to have a break and just not have to worry about it for a bit. And that's perfectly normal. And I think most of us have probably had that. I certainly have. I've got to a point where, I've lost X amount of weight and gone, do you know what, I'm quite happy now. So take the foot off the gas a little bit and eat a couple of things you probably shouldn't have. But it's amazing how quickly the bad habits start to creep back in again. Like the little picking, having a bit of chocolate or having a bit of a biscuit or having something that you haven't been eating for a while because you think, well, it's okay now because I can have that. And then it creeps back in, and then all of a sudden you're having one every day. And then it's what we call those secret calories, isn't it? Or the hidden calories that you don't really think about that all build up over time. So it's really interesting, this kind of mentality around the dieting and the making healthy choices. It works differently for different people, obviously, but certainly the time thing, if you're working really hard, and like you said, you got to your 10% in your second season, that's losing a lot of weight quite quickly. It can feel and then you keep going, and if you don't lose the weight, it can then start to wear thin, and you start thinking, hang on a minute, I'm still doing what I said I was doing. I was losing weight before and now I'm not, and why not? And then you start to get a bit demotivated, and then it's like, sorry, let's go back to how I was. So really difficult. And I know a lot of us have been through that. And it's difficult to get back on the horse. But quite often I think you just have to try and do something different. The things that you were doing before work to a point, and then your body kind of gets used to it. And then you have to try and do something else to kickstart it into something else.
Yeah, you've got to step up your game, isn't you?
Yeah. And it could be something totally random. Do you know what I mean? That just kind of kicks your metabolism into doing something else. So I get you, mate. I feel you on that one.
But on the flip side of that, for me, I think back to like during lockdown, man, I was having like a tub of Ben and Jerry's a week, an energy drink every day. And I think back on that and I think, well, at least I'm not doing that. At least I've not fallen back into that.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
A bad habit, a terrible habit. So eating like a pig, having a Domino's family meal deal, and I'm like, me and me missus, disgusting behaviour. Thankfully that stopped.
Do you know what though? I think COVID was the same for a lot of people. We started up my missus started up an online bakery business during COVID. And we were selling things like cookies and brownies and fudge, and she was making it at home, and I was like chief tester. So like every day I was eating like cookies and fudge and brownies, and I was like, what is happening to me? And literally within that sort of, I don't know the first part, I think it was of 6 months that we were all totally locked down for, I must have put on a stone.
Yeah, man, easily happens.
Well, I was the opposite. No access to McDonald's or to any of the local places. So funnily enough, actually, during the lockdown, I lost weight to the point where I'm actually only a kilo away from where I was lockdown. So I lost all the weight already.
That's incredible.
And I put it all back on. The heaviest to that was like 108 something. And I was all the way back up to 127 when I started Man v Fat. And then I'm now back down to within a kilo or so of that. So it's like a kilo of 108. So it's just
bonkers, mate.
I know. But that's the thing. I never really even noticed it at the time.
No, you don't know, do you? It kind of creeps on.
But I think actually for me, I think people will mention this, like calorie creep.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. I found that was probably my biggest problem when I was in the last couple of seasons, because I didn't feel like I was doing anything really different.
Yeah.
I just think maybe I was thinking these things have got to be sustainable. What's sustainable and enjoyable for me? Oh, well, I've been losing weight really well. Maybe I'll just have that extra chocolate bar, a week or something like that, or extra couple of weeks where I don't really necessarily need it, because I would feel better in myself to do that long term, so long as that keeps working. Obviously it didn't keep working, but and that's where
it's really easy, isn't it, to put to have an extra 200-400 calories in a day without even realizing
it's just that creep. It's that little extra thing where I just go to myself, I can afford to do that actually, because I've been doing so well, and those aren't really going to make a massive difference. But if you do that 2 or 3 times a week, then they add up, don't they? So I don't know. I mean, I had my first chocolate bar in weeks on Monday, and I got halfway through a double decker and put it down.
Wow,
that is some
resilience. I got halfway through because I was like, I put it down and it was glorious. It was the most delicious thing I've had in ages. I love double deckers, but I just literally like I was halfway through it and I thought to myself, this is exactly the problem I was having last season. Is that I'd be out on a Monday night for my quiz night, which I'm always out, and then I'm there and I win a bit of chocolate from some thing in the quiz, and then I just
ram it
instead of offering it around to the rest of the table like I always do, and just everyone gets it. I thought, you know what? No, I'll have one this time. I've earned this. And then and I just got halfway through.
And then beat yourself up for eating it.
Yeah, well, it wasn't too bad actually. I was just like, no, I really should stop. My sweet tooth is gone now for half this double decker. I think I can just like bin it off now. So
mate,
it didn't go to waste.
That is real commitment now, buddy.
Have you still got the other half? Do you want to bring it down Friday? If you're not,
I'm sure there's plenty of lads down there who'll take it off your hands.
Anyway, so how's this season then gone? You're saying you back? You say you're still up and down this season, or has it been pretty good? I mean,
this season. I mean, bad. I can't really remember, but from what it feels like, it has been like I've not made anything sort of significant. From memory, it is just kind of the put on, lose sort of yo-yo weight loss. But what I have noticed, a little bit of a humble brag, is how good my football is getting. So although I'm not losing the weight,
I think we would all agree with that, mate.
I think everyone's noticed. It gets mentioned quite a bit, Con. Maybe not to you directly, unfairly, but it gets mentioned a lot. To be honest.
I know, and I love
the
it.
improvement is amazing. Is unreal, to be honest. I noticed last night we were playing.
Yeah.
And, you're on the ball quite a bit more than I usually see you on the ball, and you seem pretty comfortable every time.
Well, this is the thing. I love the midweek games because it is just pure practice. Like on the Fridays, I will give it my all for half an hour straight. On a Tuesday, if I get past the ball and I fumble it, so what? Like, we don't keep track of the scores half the time anyway. I mean, last night it was close, but every other time I've played, after about 10 minutes, no one cares what the score is. Everyone stops asking what it is, and it's just a good way of getting the confidence that when you've got the ball at your feet, to just go with it. So what if someone takes it off you? You'll get another chance. Go again. So anyone that is listening and wants to improve their game, get down to the midweek sessions because it works wonders for me.
Yeah, well, that's massively noticeable, mate.
Yeah.
The last couple of times we've played, in fact, the last time we played, you completely played me out of the game. I was like completely. I mean, to be fair, I think at some point part of you did enter me somewhere. You were that close to me for the entire game.
Yeah, I like.
But you know, I mean, amazing. It was brilliant. I couldn't get away from you. It's fantastic. So you know, I mean, hats off for that kind of commitment to improving your game. There's a few we've had who've come down as complete novices, and to see you from where you were at the beginning to where you are now is absolutely amazing. I think it's brilliant that you've embraced it and you're improving, and you're an absolute force at the back there on a Friday night, mate.
Thank you very much.
So well done, mate. Keep going.
Yeah, I have noticed actually the difference in so for example, we'll have moments in a game where Connor, bless him, is quite exposed at the back. But and this is no disrespect, but in your first few games early on, I would have thought, okay, maybe we're a little bit in trouble, this just because because you weren't sure where to place yourself, and I was like,
don't worry, I think the
same thing. And nowadays, now it's like, oh, Cons are the back, we're fine. Honestly, I don't even give it a second thought. And that's been, to be fair, that hasn't just been recently, that's been for seasons, but just more of it. It's the difference, isn't it? In your own confidence and in the confidence of people around you as well. In your
too right, mate. I mean, on Friday we had the purples, didn't we? And I had a 3v1.
That's hard going, mate.
Andy was in goal, and I just heard him laugh and say, "Go on, Con." And I thought, yeah, what am I going to do here? So I just ran at him, and I managed to get the ball somehow.
Good lad.
So,
you read it really well, really well. So
yeah, we'll put it down to that. But yeah, pat myself on the back for that one. I've been smiling all weekend over it about that.
Good man. That's how you
should.
Yeah,
but that's what comes with playing as well. You learn the game, you learn people's tendencies, you learn things and then you read the game better, and then that automatically makes you better as such.
Yeah, definitely.
And also the weight coming off, mate, makes you more agile.
Weight comes off, you get fitter, more agile. The more you touch the ball, more confident you get on the ball, the better you get with it. It's just everything improves the more you do it, doesn't it? So
yeah, exactly that.
And it's amazing to see, Con, mate. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's super admirable for coming along and taking that leap into a league, having no real footballing experience or prior footballing experience, and not really knowing anyone, because that's obviously one hurdle.
Yeah, I think extra kudos for that. I think extra kudos for anyone who comes down who hasn't really played at any level, whether it be from just as a kid or they played other sports. Anyone who comes down, because you've got the whole point of it being a bunch of strangers who you don't know. The second thing is it's a weight loss, so you're like, oh God, I've got to face my reality that I need to try and lose some weight. And thirdly, you don't know how to play the game, so that's really, really tough. I mean, it's bad enough for people who do know how to play to turn up. So for someone who doesn't really know how to play, to come down and do that and really immerse themselves in the whole process and embrace it and do as well as you are doing, I think is amazing. And I think you deserve all the credit you get, mate. And you should take it with pride, because that's no mean feat at all, especially actually at your age as well. To do it at such a young age and make that change and make that conscious effort to make yourself do it, I think is really, really admirable, mate, and you should be really, really proud of yourself. So well done.
I'm blushing over here. Calm down.
Mate. But it's true, though, it really
keep it coming. Keep it coming.
But no, because like I said earlier, like I'm an awkward person. Like when I'm playing on the field and Josh says to me, "Well done" and stuff, I will just look at him straight face and give him a thumbs up. Or if someone's behind me, I won't even look at him. I'll just stick my thumb up behind my back.
Focus, mate. That is.
Well, it might be focus, but it's just a part of the awkwardness as well. So, I really do appreciate when people say these things, and I might not seem so grateful when people say it to my face, but I really do appreciate it. Like the community, I think, is the number one factor for me coming back. Because the whole time that I have been improving, I think most people would probably have given up, because I haven't been that good until quite recently. Like these last couple of seasons, I think, is where I've really started to improve.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all thanks to you guys, really, for like just being good people, just being kind, and being willing to, have me there. People like me who aren't the best, but still willing to, pass me the ball, to see what I've got, and to allow me the opportunity to improve. So I think a big thanks to the community out there as well.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Fair play. And I also the fact you're there, every week you're there watching the games, and you stay, and you're engaged in not just your own team but also the other teams, talking to everybody. I think it's brilliant, mate, and I think that's what it's all about. So you're clearly getting the benefits from what it's kind of supposed to be doing, and I think you're a fantastic example of everything that Man Be Fat is. So again, don't mean to make you blush again, but well done. And keep going. I think you're brilliant, mate. Just try not to throw yourself in front of the ball all the time, yeah? Especially when we're playing.
Yeah, you might win another Phil Jones award this season. Yeah. Back-to-back champ. We'll see. Might have to go up there for that tackle on. I don't even know who it was on this last week. Can you remember who it was, Con? You got the ball on a 3v1. I can't remember who it was.
Chris?
One of the Hater brothers, probably.
One of the haters.
Might have been Chris. Yeah.
Who we gave man of the match to? Whoever Blacks gave man of the match.
Yeah, it was Chris.
Chris. Yeah.
Chris, yeah.
It's Chris. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, no,
Brilliant.
amazing. I'll bear that in mind, because tackles, I'll have to be really honest, tackles aren't the easiest thing to remember.
Dude, the fact that you're doing what you're doing already is no mean feat with your fantasy, Man v Fantasy team of the week. It's brilliant. So well done for even attempting to do that.
To be honest, I have to keep asking people. Last week it was all right, because I was trying to keep the eye on the games, but I played in 2 of them, so it's difficult.
Well, to be honest, mate, you were very nearly our man of the match for the Oranges, but we couldn't give it to you because you're a ringer. So absolutely not, absolutely not. But you were immense in that game, mate. Considering you went out for 6 weeks to play as well as you did in both those games, I think because you were man of the match in your own game, weren't you?
Too right, and you deserve
yes.
it. Brilliant to have you back.
So fair play, Joshy. It was good. It was good. It wasn't good to see you. I'd rather you weren't playing for the other team. If I'm being honest.
I need to take it easy, to be honest. I think not saying I overdid it on that Friday, but I just need to be careful,
You do.
Because I don't want to get injured
yourself
again.
back in a little bit.
Yeah. Hence why I'm not playing tomorrow. So we'll see. Well, I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. But
it's great to see you.
Anyway, Con, I have to admit, mate, we'll wait to see what happens next season, but I'll dread to lose you on the team.
You'll be sad.
No, trust me, I really will be. Like, I'm not joking. Because we've got a good core of people who we've known a little while, haven't we? So I mean, and just who are there every week, like yourself and Chris and Jim and your brother now. So just Suki, of course, is there all the time. All the time. Shouts at other teams on the side.
No, Luke, no, I don't have an opinion on anything.
So I love it, but that's what it's about, isn't it? So I love that kind of thing. So we'll see. But I also think wherever you go, wherever you end up, and it'll be the same with Ben. I don't know if you're going to be captain again next year, Ben, but wherever we end up, it's kind of I think everyone kind of knows everyone to a degree.
Yeah.
Everyone gets along really well. So it's not. I think it'll be less. Hopefully, it's less daunting. For people, and anyone who's new to the league will also, as we say, go with someone they've already been in the team with and they got to know. So
it's always an interesting. I know we touched on it last week and a little bit the week before, but it is a weird time, but it's also it's kind of a good time. It's an exciting time because it is like new, and it gives you that the new sort of invigoration to get going again and start again.
Well, I think we can touch on the motivation side, but I think that it will help for motivation for some people, won't it? I mean, as I say, I've been fortunate in that I haven't personally struggled so at this stage yet in the season for motivation. and just trying to focus on staying in last man and getting to my next milestone, etc. Which is the biggest motivation for me. But I can understand how people do struggle. As I said, I had 2 seasons I was struggling with it. I mean, I don't know if we did kind of touch on this a little earlier, but what kind of helps you guys in terms of motivation wise? Because is it a small goal? Is it a big one? Is it small little things? You know?
Conor, you can answer that one first, mate.
That's right. So I think for me, my family definitely plays a massive part. Because every time I speak to my dad, I phone my dad up, and every time I tell him I'm still doing my football, he is so proud of me, like, for actually sticking with it. You know, my girlfriend, she's my biggest fan. You know, we're on this weight loss journey together. You know, I'm doing my football, she's dieting and going to the gym. So having someone that close to you who's on the same journey, I think helps. Because it can be a little bit competitive, you know. When there's on a Friday when she weighs herself and she's lost, you know, 1 or 2 kilos, and I've put on 0.5, you know, it's it's like that thought process of I don't want to be better than her, but at the same time, if she can do that, I can do that. So I think that helps having her so close. Having my brother and my best friend doing the exact same thing as me. They're both on the same team as me. So having those 2 people close that I do talk to throughout the week. You know, I don't just see them on Tuesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays. You know, they are a massive part of my life that I can openly talk to and be really honest with as well, because, you know, there might be some people on a Friday that like they'll ask things and I won't be too honest with them, because I don't want, you know, I still want people to sort of have the perspective of that, you know, he's actually still trying, which I am still trying, but, you know, you can be a bit more honest with the people that are close to you, and they're a bit more honest with you, and I think that helps, having full disclosure with someone, because as well, my brother and Jimmy, they'll be brutally honest with me. Like, if I say something along the lines of, I don't know, I'm gonna have a McDonald's tonight, they'll turn around and say, no, you're not. Like, why? Do you know what I mean? So I think having people close is a big motivating factor for me.
Yeah, I get that totally. Well, do you know what? It's a difficult one, because having been in the process since the beginning, and it will be with this July, I think it will be 3 years, or the end of July. I have struggled with the motivation. I do find the first season of a new turnaround is probably when I am most motivated, because especially from a captain's point of view, you have the kind of added focus where you want to bring the team together and try and get them all to open up and engage. So that, I think, is probably the biggest motivation for me. And so when I've struggled a little bit with my weight, I think I just touched a bit on what I said before, is that when you've been in the process for a long time and it feels like you've been dieting for a long time, trying to get over that and trying to say, well, you know, actually this is a lifestyle thing. That can be a bit of a challenge, but I don't really know. Family definitely is a thing. I want to try and stay fit for my kids. My 2 boys are mad, so trying to keep up with those 2 all of the time, as people experienced when they turned up a couple of weeks ago, and I left them on the sideline for some of you lads to look after. That was highly entertaining. Those guys probably are my main motivation, but I just don't. I think it's like we always say, you know, I've lost nearly 20. Well, overall, I lost 20 kilos to hit my 20%. So I've put a little bit on from back in those days, but you know, I wouldn't have been able to do that without this. So I'm a firm believer in this is being the catalyst for me to do that, and that's why I'm so invested in it, and that's why I'll keep doing it, because I think if I didn't do it, I think I'd lose that kind of accountability on weighing in on a Friday night, and I think it would be quite easy for me to slip back into bad habits. So to have that focus of a weigh-in on a Friday night and have the, you know, as we all say, the camaraderie amongst the lads and the community, and being involved in all the other things we do, including this, gives me the motivation to keep going. So, yeah.
And I think you've kind of just touched on exactly what you were saying last week, wasn't it? Around anyone who's kind of considering stepping away for this, the end of this. I think, not saying reconsider it, but more just maybe I am saying reconsider it, but more just along the lines of exactly because what you're saying. Have a real think about whether it's something you feel.
What it does for you in your life, not just the sort of having to lose weight thing or trying to lose weight. It's more than that. It's much, much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, we always say this is a social club, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a social club about it's a bit like
we just don't go and get pissed afterwards.
Yeah.
Much.
Come end of season.
There have been a couple of occasions, yes. We don't talk about that.
I meant to be on stage at the awards, with you guys, and at any point, is there a stage involved?
The stage
ceremony. Yeah,
it's top secret, isn't it? Isn't it all secret? Are we not keeping it a secret? That's full bells and whistles, mate. Spotlight.
We've got breaking news. We've got breaking news on the pod.
I'm teasing you. It was more just if I'm going to have anything to say during the point, I want to make sure I haven't had several pints before.
We'll make sure, mate. We'll make sure you have had plenty of pints and then get you up on stage.
Too right.
I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, that's going to be a good night. So, and that's a good shout, actually. Anyone from Man v Fat Bournemouth who hasn't yet purchased your tickets for the end of season bash, we are doing it because it's the end of our 9th season and the turnaround of the teams. So it's kind of a natural good time to do a big group sort of session. So we've integrated the Steve's Man v Fat Awards along with our own silly Lose to Win Awards, but also a bit of food and a bit of disco and a chance for everybody to get together. Please do get your tickets. Speak to Jack or drop Jack a message and he'll sort you out some tickets. So as many people can get, the better it'll be. And there is the massive prize raffle. So we've got some fantastic prizes, and they're open to anyone can buy raffle tickets. And there's some fantastic prizes, including golf days and a 55-inch HD TV that's been kindly donated by Jimmy's boss. So thank you, Jimmy's boss, for that. There's loads of good prizes though: haircuts, tickets for shows, food vouchers, Man v Fat merchandise, Man v Fat membership. Actually, 3 months membership. What else is on there, Josh?
Well, we've got some Footy Lab stuff and
Footy Lab session.
I'm just
golf lesson.
Some signed boxing gloves. Did you mention that?
Oh yes, that
local hero.
That's right,
Mr. Chris Billam-Smith. So
Billam-Smith, thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
Signed some boxing gloves.
Massive thanks. So
some of your merchandise, Josh.
Some signed Lose to Win merch would be nice.
There is some, but there is some Lose to Win merch. Whether it's signed, we get Steve to sign it, I suppose.
You do us the highest honour there, Con, believing that we just we should do some signed. I think it'll be I think it really put a damper on the event if I go around saying, with a marker, with a Sharpie.
Do you want me to sign that for you?
To sign shirts, yeah. Do you want me to sign this way?
Just devalue it, mate.
Oh yeah, but I've also got a couple of things I own that
we love those.
Will be going up for auction just as auction up on the just because I need to get rid. No, not really. They're lovely. It's just I had planned to sell these things, and now I'm deciding that's not the best thing. I'll give them
donation. Going
around the garage looking for what can get away.
What can we get rid of?
Yeah, I don't need this lawnmower anymore.
But listen, all of the proceeds that go from that raffle are going to the Dorset Mine charity. So any money that we get from that raffle, and I think we've sold quite a few tickets already. So I think we've sold about 150 quid's worth so far. So all of that money will go to the charity. So it's for a good cause, and there's some good stuff to be had. So yeah, if you haven't got any yet, as I say, get hold of Jack and he will organise that for you. So yeah, happy days. Be a good night.
Yeah, really good. Well, lads, I mean, we've had a chat quite a bit about Man v Fat and your journey in particular, Con, mate. If there's anything else you want to touch on, anything specific that's helped you throughout it, whether it's dieting tips or exercise things, or like same for you, Ben, if there's anything specific you want to add.
I think everyone's had enough for me.
benefit the community.
Yeah, what's your top tip, Connor? What's your top tip for when you first joined and first sort of interacted with the whole process? What would you say was your sort of little nugget of
I know what you mean. So for me, I think my secret weapon when I first joined was ditching the sugar. Straight away, I switched to like sugar-free drinks because easily that's just they're called empty calories, where you don't need sugar in a drink, do you?
Yeah.
So I think that was a big thing for me was to cut the sugar out. Like I said earlier, make the simple, healthier choices instead of at McDonald's having fried chicken. Go for the grilled chicken. What else can I say? Walking, I think, is my main form of exercise. I walk to work and back every day. I go for a walk on my lunch, and that does wonders. It does wonders for your sort of cardio levels. Like you get out of breath a lot less just by going on a walk. And I have recently managed to step that up to a bit of a run as well. So through walking, I've managed to get my fitness levels up and obviously playing the football, but to a point where I can, on my walk, think, well, I'm going to run this section of it, have another little walk, and then run another section. So yeah, no sugar, healthier choices, go on walks is the only thing I can suggest.
I love that, mate. Yeah. They're all very sensible, very easy, manageable things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, swap the sugar, get rid of the sugar, just get a bit of extra exercise, get that heart rate up a little bit. Love that, mate.
Take the dog for a little longer walk than normal.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Small little things that make a difference.
And they can make a massive difference. Like you said, when you first joined, doing those simple things. Excuse me, we'll start the process, and it will start to, you don't not even really feel like you're doing that much, and it will start to have such a benefit. So yeah, spot on, buddy. Love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, lads, should we move on to some fantasy football to wrap it up for the?
Yes, let's.
Come on, we like doing that, don't we?
It's been such a good week.
Yeah. Quickly before I do that, by the way, I'll just update you. Bournemouth are still 1-0 up from what I can see.
Up the cherries.
Man United 2-2 with Sheffield United.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they were 2-1 down. So 1-0 and 2-1 down to 2-2 just now, penalty. And Liverpool are losing 2-0 to Everton.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, good laugh in that one. I know. I shouldn't because we've got some big Liverpool fans listening to the pod. But that is rather yeah, that's quite funny to be honest. On that one.
Does that scupper their season? Is that really puts them in trouble?
That'll be title over. They won't be winning the title from there. I wouldn't have thought.
How does that? Because that puts Arsenal like 3. But City have got 2 in hand, haven't they?
Yeah.
So still in City's hand, really.
Yeah. They're still effectively 2 points clear, City. If they win their games in hand. Palace are 1-0 up against Newcastle.
Oh wow, just a bit of form.
I know everyone listening. This will be well done by now. So
so totally,
but it's totally irrelevant.
But for us, it's interesting as it goes in.
Anyway, fantasy football then.
Go on then. Give us your little
games are ongoing. I'll claim that the ongoing games are part of my fantasy breakdown because obviously it's a double game week, and so we've got players playing right now who are scoring points or not scoring points, depending on how you see it. So like Salah, who's not scoring any points because although he's playing, Liverpool are losing.
He's done nothing, has he?
Yeah, so it's a bit of an interesting one, I should say, this week. I'm currently sitting on 124 points.
Well, bully for you.
I
hope you feel proud of yourself.
I am very proud of myself, Ben. Thank you,
Mr. Yes. I'll play a free hit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did have it available, didn't I? I mean, silly people who don't have it available, that's really what you should be saying, isn't it? So, no, I tease, but it's...
Damn you.
So there'll be a few people who didn't maybe that might be thinking of wildcarding this week. That's probably the best time to do it. It's only 3 weeks of the season left, 3 game weeks of the season. So, but there's plenty of teams who are doubling. So Chelsea and Spurs have got a double this coming week. Obviously they play each other in one of those games, but
tricky.
It's not too bad. And then you've got upcoming doubles. So Man City, Newcastle, Man United, Spurs, Chelsea, as I said, teams like that essentially to look at essentially for the coming weeks. So
you've only got 3
I don't really have any. Yeah, well, this is game week 34. We've got 35, 6, 7, and 8. So we've got 4. Sorry, my apologies. 4 left. Yeah, but obviously some teams have got 6 games to play in 4 weeks.
Yeah, of course. So it's only Tottenham and Chelsea that have got 2 next week, is it? Are they the only 2?
Yeah, they're the only 2 have got doubles this coming week, but they also have a double again in 37. So they're the kind of players you want to target. Obviously, Spurs have got problems with injuries and
so Chelsea now by the looks of it. So
yeah,
it's difficult.
A few things to think about. Yeah, I know it's a difficult one. It's going to be a boring run in for me because I've kind of got everything planned out already, which is sad, really.
Yeah, I thought I did, and it all went wrong. All the wheels fell off at the same time. But hey ho, that's life, innit? You got to take a little bit of a risk when you're a bit behind. You got to go, right, what can I do slightly differently that might catch me up a few points? Sadly, it hasn't gone quite to plan. But hey, there's another season in a couple of weeks, and it's the Euros over the summer. And I always enjoy fantasy Euros. Do you play fantasy Euros?
No, never.
There's quite a good game. I think it's app based. It's quite good. It's similar. It's not the same as FPL, but it's similar. But you can change the. I'll talk to you about it on another time. But we'll get one going. I think for Man Be Fat for the summer. That'd be quite cool. Because obviously I'm not going to win this bloody one.
Connor, are you much of a fantasy football player?
Do you know what, mate? I've done 1 season of it, and then this season it wouldn't let me. I don't know what was wrong with it, or if I was doing it wrong. But Jim had a look as well, and it just wouldn't let me select a team. I just couldn't pick a team. So no, I've been out for this season. Been keeping up with it though, because I look at Jim's every now and then, and obviously listen to you guys and what you're saying about it. But one thing I do play is completely off topic, so I'll go over it quick. Have you guys ever heard of Super 6?
Yeah,
I do Super 6 quite a lot, and I'm in a league of Super 6. I quite enjoy that one, but I think next season I'll get involved in the Premier League, the Fantasy Premier League, because I have done it before, but just this season for some reason I couldn't get it to work. Don't know what that's about, but so I have done it a little bit, but I'll get back into it soon.
Yeah,
I think it's a great catalyst to fantasy. It's a really good way of involving yourself in other teams that you wouldn't normally watch, because obviously you get invested in the players and invested in their results, so it actually opens up the whole world of football, especially when you spend a lot of time watching Championship football, to keep in touch with what's going on in the Premier League. Fantasy really helps that. I've got a really good book actually. I need to I'll lend it to you, Josh. It's a comedy book about fantasy football basically. I can't remember the title of it. I'll try and bring it over and I'll read it out next time maybe. But it's a great book, basically about sad people like us who get obsessed with fantasy football and how you wake up thinking about stuff and how you obsess over things.
I just can't stop. It's just sad, really. It's got to a stage now. Where people I see it as the slightly more healthy way of getting obsessed with games. Some people bet on games non-stop, little £1 here and there on and then it gets them involved in watching football, as you say, games or teams they wouldn't normally watch. I just consider it a slightly more healthy version of that.
I'll go with that. I'll join up with
that.
My version of that,
I mean, you can still do both, but
my sad version of that is when I got into football in 2018 and recently as well, to learn about the other teams and stuff. I've been buying the old football cards. As a 26-year-old man, I take a little walk to the corner shop and I get myself a pack of football cards and I learn the players like that.
I love that, mate. That is amazing.
I'll be sure to get a sticker book for the Euros.
Yeah, brilliant.
I have to join you on that one, just have a laugh. So I don't
I
know
love
any
the old
international
sticker
players that
albums.
well.
I used to love them, the old Panini albums.
Do right.
Panini, not Panini, Fellini.
Yeah,
Fellini was Panini. It was Panini,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, to have a completed Panini book, that would be amazing. I'll tell you what I have got, which is a bit, you'll be impressed with this, and you probably won't even remember it, because I think it was 1998. I think it was for the World Cup for 1998. In fact, Connor, you were probably only just born.
Yeah, I was about 1 year old.
But Sainsbury's did a thing where you could collect, or you got given packets of like silver coins, and it was all the England players on silver coins. And I have got 2 completed full sets carded of the silver Sainsbury's World Cup coins.
Oh, what a boy.
Oh.
They've got to be worth some money, right?
Who, right?
They've got to
Because it's something quite niche, isn't it? Sainsbury's silver coins.
Yeah, I might have to look that up.
Yeah.
I've only just remembered about that. Yeah, I was well proud of that. 2 completed sets. I'll dig them out.
Anything completed to do with like the World Cup or Euro sticker books, get any of them completed takes something, doesn't it?
It was effort, definitely. Yeah, I'll have to dig them out. If anyone knows if they're worth anything, give me a shout. I might even throw one in to the raffle if I can find them for anyone who's interested.
Yeah.
Unless it's worth a fortune, in which case I won't do that. I'll keep it for posterity.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
We did get off topic on the fantasy, didn't we?
Slightly. Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
mate. Sorry.
No worries at all. What have you got any particular plans this week? I mean,
I'm just going to do something random, I think, because that's probably going to be just as helpful as actually trying to plan anything. No, it all fell off. As I said, I played my wild card a week early to try and play my bench boost on the double game week. But what happened was all the players that I brought in to do the double game week then got injured and I didn't play. So my bench currently has 0 points. So I didn't play it, so I've kept it. So I've still got my bench boost. I've still got my triple captain. So I've got both my Chelsea players, though, who are playing twice next week, are both injured, or currently injured anyway. That's not to say they won't be by the time they play. I've got Palmer and Gusto. I was probably going to bring in 1 or 2 Tottenham players this week, especially as Chelsea got stuffed 5-0. I think they're probably, and they're not really got anything to play for now, have they? So I reckon a couple of Tottenham players would probably be a good shout. But apart from that, I think I'm going to save my trip cap for game week 37. And then
so
I
you're
might
not going to play your bench boost that week?
I don't think so. How many teams are playing twice in 37?
Several. Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Spurs, Newcastle.
Chelsea,
I'm trying to think. Brighton
playing twice.
Yeah.
Newcastle. I don't know. I'll have to have a little bit of a rethink, but I don't know. I might just bench boost on the last game of the season and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I mean,
I
try and use cunning plans. Yeah. I mean, boring. So Udogie and Bradley are both unavailable for me, and they're both on my bench. So I will just likely transfer one of them to either a Newcastle or a Spurs defender.
Mm-hmm.
If Trippier's fit, I might go to him as a cheeky, because he's
not
very highly owned at the moment because he's been injured.
Mm-hmm.
He's quite expensive. But that's it really. I have no idea who it's going to be, really.
I thought you said it was all carefully planned out.
Well, yeah, it'll either be Trippier, Share, or like Pedro Porro, basically. Those are the 3 things.
Okay.
For one of them, and then the week after it'll be the other player I didn't get rid of, either Bradley or Udogie, for the other one of those 3. For the next one of those 3.
Is Bradley not playing now? Because Bradley is not playing.
No, well, Trent's back.
Trent,
he's injured, but also Trent's back. So double whammy really. So he won't be playing. Udogie's out for the season.
Is he?
Yeah.
So is Haaland definitely injured for tomorrow? Is he definitely out? Have you seen that? Or is that just a bit?
I don't know for a fact he's definitely out, but the impression I was given is that he will not be playing tomorrow, or there's very likely if he does, it'll only be off the bench for minutes.
I Well, that's okay. That'll
but
do.
that's kind of rumour. That's only kind of rumour really for now.
You know what Pep's like, though?
He's flagged basically, but yeah, I mean, as you say, be interested to know, but I don't know yet. I just think there's a chance. Yeah. Well, I hope not.
Brighton away is a tough game, though. That's a potential banana skin for City, to be fair, because that Brighton at home, I know they're not really in form at the moment, but the Amex is a tough place to go for any team. They've done them there before, haven't they? I'm pretty sure Brighton have beat City at the Amex before.
Yeah, I think so. Just can't remember when, to be honest.
No.
City got a title to win, so
absolutely, yeah, they'll be pretty anyway, switched on. I'm sure.
Nothing else to say on that one really. Just no specific advice really. Just Chelsea, Spurs, Man City, Newcastle, Man United, Brighton. I would focus on those players, whether you're wildcarding or whether you're just transferring someone in.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
Well, that's all right then. We'll leave it there then, lads. Thank you very much, Connor, for coming on.
Yeah,
really
thank
appreciate
you for having me. I love it. I'm happy to be part of it and get more involved with you boys. So thank you.
You're more than welcome, buddy. Absolutely. It's great to have you. Really enjoyed it tonight. Great conversation. Great chat. Yeah. Love your energy, mate. You've got fantastic energy.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's good to hear a slightly different perspective as someone who hasn't really been involved in football much until recently. And that's quite unique for some of I say unique. It's rare for the people involved in our community. So that's really good to hear, mate. Really good to listen to. And really good to hear how you've been doing so well so far, and keep it up, mate.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Thrilled to have you, and I'm going to be sorry if I lose you next season.
There'll be a few tears on the award. I can see it now. The awards night. A few people had a few too many sherbets, and it's the end of an era for a lot of teams. There'll be a few big hugs and big tears going on, and then the next week they'll be hacking chunks out of each other, playing on different teams.
Definitely. The thing is, mate, you're right. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, totally. Well, looking forward to it. Bless you, mate. It's been lovely to talk to you. So thanks for coming on.
Lovely. Cheers, boys. Thank you.
Cheers, thanks, lads. Mate.
Right. We'll say cheerio then, shall we?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
Thank
you very much for the support. And
keep spreading the word.
If you're in the community, just keep plugging away. Only a few weeks left for us, but still got more weeks afterwards to keep plugging away towards your personal goals. So
top work, mate.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Speak to you soon. All the best, guys.
Bye.
Bye.